Hello, it's the weekend of Saturday, August 5th and Sunday, August 6th. You are listening to Inception Radio Network, voice of the fringe majority. This is Carol Carl, off the beaten path. There are no striking changes in your Skywatch sky tonight, gentle listeners, but coming Monday, August 7th, we can look forward to the Sturgeon Moon. If that sounds a tad fishy, well, it's just another one of those monikers we attach to various August full moons. There's the green corn moon, the grain moon. This August moon, the full moon Sturgeon Moon, falls August 7th at 1811 UTC, to be precise, which is during the daylight hours August 7th for us here in the United States. At United States time zones, full moon comes at 1:11 a.m. on that date, and as usual, earthsky.org provides a bunch of graphs and charts so you can check out what your very own time for that is. Although tonight's moon and tomorrow night's moon will look full to the eye for us in the Americas, we won't see that full moon at the instant it turns full, because at that point it's going to be beneath our horizon. In fact, you have to be in the world's eastern hemisphere to see this month's moon when it is precisely full. In that part of the world, the full moon will be partially eclipsed by the Earth's dark shadow, and that's the night of August 7th to 8th. Technically speaking, the moon is only full for a fleeting moment, when the moon is 180 degrees from the sun in ecliptic longitude. The worldwide map that you can find later will show you day and night sides of the world at that instant. To reiterate, you have to be on the nighttime side of the world to see the moon at the exact instant it turns full. Oh, sounds like a road trip. If the moon turns full during the daylight hours, as this August 2017 moon does in North and South America, then the moon is below your horizon. Astronomically speaking, those in North and South America will be watching an almost full waxing gibbous moon on the night of August 6th to the 7th, and an almost full waning gibbous moon on the night of August 7th to 8th. Everyone around the world, however, will see a full-looking moon in the east at dusk or nightfall on August 6th and 7th, highest up for the night around midnight, sitting low in the west at dawn. The moon stays more or less opposite the sun for the duration of the night after darkness falls, for the next few days, in fact. So here's the bottom line. Although tonight's moon and tomorrow night's moon will look full to the eye for us in the Americas, we won't see the moon at the instant it turns full. Nope, it's below the horizon. Let's go off the beaten path, across a lot of desert sand. Whoa, look what's ahead of us, the Great Pyramid of Giza. Here's the headline: Great Pyramid of Giza could be hiding 4,000-year-old secret. This is from the New York Post, be aware. That Great Pyramid could be about to give up a secret that has been hiding for more than 4,000 years. Experts think they're on the verge of solving a mystery about this awe-inspiring wonder of the ancient world. Scientists believe there is a hidden recess lurking within the Great Pyramid, and they could be about to pinpoint exactly where that is. Also known as the Khufu Pyramid, the gigantic structure was completed in around 2560 BC, although, of course, that is not without controversy, and stood about 479 feet high, making it the tallest man-made structure in the world for more than 3,800 years. Now, a team working on a project called Scan Pyramids is about to use two techniques known as infrared thermography and muography in an attempt to uncover the secrets of this hidden chamber. Thermography is a scanning technique that detects the heat given off by objects, while muography picks up particles called muons that are produced when cosmic rays smash into the Earth's atmosphere. Muography was used to find hidden tunnels inside the Bent Pyramid, which was given its name due to the wonky shape of its structure. Quote, "All the devices we put in place are designed to find where the cavity is located. We know there is one, but we're trying to find out where," end quotes. That's from Mehdi Tayyoubi, president of the HIP Institute, which is heading the Scan Pyramids project. In the 200 years since Napoleon Bonaparte landed in Egypt with a retinue of scholars who laid the groundwork for modern Egyptology, in fact, Experts have used science to unlock the secrets of the country's ancient treasures. In the 21st century, the scientists have been using electronic devices and chemical testing to date artifacts. Chemical testing still requires small samples, but advanced techniques coming into use are meant to be non-invasive so as not to damage these precious ancient relics. The Scan Pyramids project is among the most ambitious of projects to demystify the Khufu Pyramid near Cairo, the only surviving monument from the ancient Seven Wonders of the world. The project had announced last October that the massive pyramid may contain undiscovered recesses. It's not clear what these recesses contain, if anything at all, but the technology being used could mean that archaeologists will soon be peering inside an ancient Egyptian time capsule in the not-too-distant future. The results obtained by Scan Pyramids will then be compared with infrared and 3D images. Some archaeologists have pinned hopes on the sophisticated technology to locate the burial place, in fact, of the legendary Queen Nefertiti. The wife of King Akhenaten, who initiated a monotheistic cult in ancient Egypt, Nefertiti remains an enigma, best known for a bust depicting her that's now on exhibition in Berlin's News Museum. A British Egyptologist, Nicholas Reeves, believes her remains were hidden in a secret chamber in the tomb of Tutankhamun in the southern Valley of the Kings. In 2015, archaeologists scanned that tomb with radar, hoping for clues. Both Nicholas Reeves' theory and the inconclusive results have been dismissed by other Egyptologists. But of course, enter former Antiquities Minister Zahi Hawass. He said that an adept of the sun god Aton would never have been allowed to be buried in the Valley of the Kings. Well, we'll just have to stay tuned. Here's why we call it Off the Beaten Path. We're headed toward Southern California now, where we find the headline, California Neighborhood Claims a Chupacabra Has Been Stalking Its Pets. We picked this up from SanFranciscoGate.com. If some residents are to be believed, the supernatural has been stalking Box Springs Mountain this summer. According to a Southern California news group yarn, a few Riverside County residents have seen a mysterious, hairless creature eyeing their pets. Said local Carrie Schuker, quote, "It was hunting my cat. This wasn't a coyote by any means," end quotes. Here's how the thing's been described. Quote, "Ears of a deer, long snout, no hair," end quotes, and, quote, "a tail like a rat," end quotes. Characteristics that might sound familiar to cryptozoology fans. Although a well-established legend, the chupacabra only got its name in the mid-90s, when farmers in Puerto Rico reported a creature was killing their livestock, draining it of blood. The media soon dubbed the hairless, dog-like creature a chupacabra, or goat sucker. Oh, there was even that famous X-Files episode. Over the years, sightings have been reported all over the Caribbean and South and Central America, with occasional chupacabras spotted as far north as the United States. There were some famous cases in Texas. Riverside area Tom Brundage theorized that the chupacabra he saw migrated from Mexico. Here's his quote, "It has a body like a chihuahua stretched out, with a large thoracic cavity, and it has huge hind legs. It has a very narrow, rat-like face with undulations in it, more like a marsupial. Rat-like tail. This broadcaster is thinking giant possum? Oh, they don't get that big." The real explanation for the riverside creature is, as you might imagine, probably less folkloric in nature. Hungry coyotes could be coming down into residential areas, indeed, looking for small pets to snatch up as food. And if one is particularly mange-stricken, it could have a bit of an otherworldly look. Here's a quote from University of Michigan entomologist Barry O'Connor. This is what he told National Geographic back in 2010. Quote, "I don't think we need to look any further or to think that there's yet some other explanation for these observations," end quotes. He was speaking of mange. And severe cases of mange caused by a parasite often cause hair loss, shriveled, infected skin, and just a generally pitiful appearance. It does not, as this article notes, however, cause the famed blood-sucking, which is almost certainly legendary rather than fact. Oh, chupa, that's for sucking, and cabra, of course, is goat. Just saying. Here's some more cryptid coolness from the courierjournal.com. Headline, Aliens or Owls? The legend behind Kentucky's Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival. That's a mouthful. This is written by Jeffrey Lee Puckett, who takes us back in time to the night of August 21st, 1955. The temperature would have been pushing 90, and the old Sutton farmhouse in Kelly, Kentucky, was filled with family and friends. At dusk, one of those friends, Billy Ray Taylor, went outside to get water from the well, and he saw a bright object shoot across the sky and into a nearby gully. His breathless report was laughed off by the others inside the house, but then the aliens crashed the party, resulting in a one-sided battle where Taylor and various Sutton kin fired rifles and shotguns at what they described as short creatures with large heads and eyes, long arms, and claw-like hands. If this rings a bell to you regular gentle listeners, we covered this event long time back on Way Back Wednesday. It tracks the way we remember it. Lawmen came from the city nearby of Hopkinsville. They were recruited and found no evidence beyond bullet holes in various window screens. After they left, however, the family later reported the little green men returned, poked around the farmhouse until nearly sunup. The Kelly-Hopkinsville encounter is a favorite among ufologists and even played a role in the making of E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And, as you might have gathered, it's also the inspiration for the Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival, held annually since 2011. This year's festival, of course, has an added component. The full solar eclipse will arrive on the 62nd anniversary of the invasion, and some wonder if the UFO will return under cover of darkness, and that time for returning, 1:24 p.m. Then again, some wonder if anything happened at all. Quote, well, that's a good question, end quote, said Frank Brown, president of the Kelly Community Organization, which stages the festival. It's a fundraiser for community improvements. He continues, quote, I think it's maybe 50-50. 50% think something did happen, and 50% just want to have fun, end quotes. The Kelly Little Green Men Days Festival is August 18th through the 21st this year, and it's just 10 minutes outside of Hopkinsville, near where the family may or may not have fought space invaders. Some experts think the family was battling owls. Others are convinced something extraordinary did happen. That festival, by the way, normally draws 3,000 people, but this year Mr. Brown is counting on nearly 4 times that amount. The Hopkinsville area is expected to be flooded with between 100 and 200,000 eclipse chasers, eager to experience the moment when the moon covers the sun more completely than anywhere else on the planet. Interesting. Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Let's go from what may or may not have been owls in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, to what may or may not be owls in Chicago. Here's the headline. Chicago's Mothman stories are good paranormal entertainment. And yes, there does seem to be that Mothman component to the Chicago strangeness. This gets a byline for Ted Slovic. He writes a column for the Chicago Tribune called the Daily Southtown. Here's the story, and he writes this first person. I love a good story about the paranormal. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Bremen Township is famous for its ghost stories, and in 2004, reports of 3 red lights hovering in the sky over Tinley Park excited UFO enthusiasts. Stories of extraterrestrials, Bigfoot, poltergeists, and other phenomena make for entertaining yarns that stretch the boundaries of the imagination. When I heard about recent alleged sightings of Mothman in Chicago, I reacted with a healthy dose of skepticism. For some willing to suspend disbelief, the sightings portend an ominous tale of foreboding. Others may pass them off as pure fiction. Some say it looks like a large bat or owl. Others say it resembles a man in a winged suit. Some say it's silent, but others describe a sound like brakes screeching. Some people who claim to have seen the creature in Chicago recently reported it had glowing red eyes, and they felt a sense of dread when they saw it. Here's something from Lon Strickler. Just a note here, gentle listeners. Lon Strickler, a familiar name. Yep, been a guest here on several shows on Inception Radio Network. And here's what he says. Quote, I believe the witnesses are seeing something because the descriptions don't compare exactly. I think there could be at least 2 or 3 different beings, end quotes. The more than 20 reports since April of a, quote, winged humanoid, end quotes, spotted in Chicago are drawing comparisons to the Mothman legend. Journalist and UFO researcher John Keel wrote the 1975 book The Mothman Prophecies, which was made into a 2002 movie starring Richard Gere and Laura Linney. The book and movie were based on events that occurred in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Numerous people reported seeing a red-eyed Mothman over the Ohio River before the bridge collapse in December the 15th, 1967, which killed 46 people. Now back to Lon Strickler, who chronicles reports of ghosts, UFO sightings, and other paranormal activity at his website, Phantoms and Monsters. He told this writer the recent alleged accounts of a creature spotted in Chicago represent the largest cluster of possible Mothman sightings in the 50 years since the Point Pleasant tragedy. Quote, I cannot find any other grouping like this, end quotes, Strickler said. Lon Strickler has chronicled 21 alleged Mothman sightings in Chicago this year. The earliest was in Oz Park, April 7th. Lon Strickler said this sighting was reported to a colleague, Manuel Navarrete, at UFO Clearinghouse. A woman walking her dog claimed she encountered a creature standing in the park. Quote, I saw a large man, probably 7 feet or taller, standing on the ground. It was solid black, but what really stood out were the large, and I do mean large, pair of wings that were folded behind him, end quotes. The account said the creature looked at the woman before spreading its wings and flying off. She said, quote, I felt like this thing could see right through me, read me. It knew what I was thinking, like it could stare right into my very soul. It was the most terrified I have ever been in my life, end quotes. Most of the alleged sightings have occurred at night near water. A man fishing with his son along the Little Calumet River in Hedgewish Park reported seeing a man-sized black bird around 7:30 p.m. April 30th. Another man with his 6-year-old son in Calumet Park around 8 p.m. May 5th reported a similar encounter. Fast forward to June 23rd, a man said he was with a group near Adler Planetarium when they saw something that looked like a large bat. The most recent sighting allegedly occurred Monday during daylight, about 5 p.m. at Willis Tower. A witness smoking a cigarette on the sidewalk outside a tavern reported looking up and seeing a human-like figure with large wings perched near the top of a building. At some point, this object put out its wings, dipped, and swooped upward. It seemed to then gain altitude. Strickler was asked about the credibility of reports. If one accepts the reports as authentic, could people be seeing a large owl, a man in a winged suit, or a drone decorated to look like a monster? Said Strickler, quote, we've looked into everything. People say it moves its head and its legs. It acts like it's living. If it was a suit, it would need some kind of jetpack. It's kind of got a propulsion to it. It flaps its wings. It accelerates, end quotes. One of the more convincing accounts is alleged to have occurred about 11:15 p.m. June 29th at 81st and Throop Streets in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood. Lon Strickler published an account allegedly received by Manuel Navarrete from a man claiming to be a Chicago police officer on routine patrol with his partner. Here's his account, quote, we were flagged down by a group of people who were pointing up to the top of an apartment building that was on the corner. The man claiming to be an officer, quote, reported seeing a large creature with wings on top of the building. They shined flashlights on it, and it flew away. People crowded around and said they had seen the creature flying over the neighborhood the 2 nights previous. Quote, we were initially doubtful about filing a report because we thought we would be made fun of for seeing, quote, little green men, end quotes. We finally filed a report as we just didn't want to violate protocol, is what the officers said. I checked with the Chicago Police Department to see if any reports were filed about the alleged Auburn Gresham incident or any other recent Mothman sightings. And here's what a spokesman said, quote, "Our database did not reveal any reports or any incidents regarding the aforementioned," end quotes. I remain skeptical about the reported sightings of Mothman in Chicago, but I find the accounts entertaining. They remind me of Kolchak, the Night Stalker, that TV show that aired on ABC 1974 to 1975. Darren McGavin starred as Carl Kolchak, a newspaper reporter who investigated mysterious cases involving monsters and other strangeness. Segue. UFOstalker.com brings us this. Alien encounter in Melrose Park, Illinois. Yup, Owlman sighting adjacent. It's MUFON case number 85653. The date of this sighting is August 4th, 2017. It got a same-day report. In summary, the witness says, giant bat flew over us. Close viewing distance here, 21 to 100 feet. The altitude 500 feet or less. Sighting duration 1 minute. Object features wings. Object flight path straight line path. And the object shape other. No weather here. But here is the account. I was coming out of Best Buy with my husband when I saw this thing fly over top of us and head west. It was flying very fast, and the wings were flapping as it flew away from us. I reached for my phone, but by the time I pulled it out and brought up the camera, this thing had moved farther away. I got one picture, but I can't seem to submit it, and then the thing moved out of sight. From what I saw when it flew over, it must have been at least 6 feet tall and had wings that must have been at least 7 feet. It was black in color, but that was all I was able to see. The photo is fuzzy, and I'm not the greatest photographer in the world. Yep, and, well, it's not posted, so we'll just move on. In fact, let's just go stay someplace else, shall we? How about a nightmarish clown motel next to a cemetery? Well, you can not only stay there, but if you are so inclined, you can buy the place. Well, we couldn't pass up this little bit of mirth. It's again from that website, sanfranciscogate.com. There isn't any byline, but perhaps that's just as well. Here's the story. If your goal in life is to never sleep again, we've got a real estate listing for you. The famed Clown Motel, that's its actual name, in Tonopah, Nevada, is on the market for $900,000. A real bargain for those in the market for a nightmare factory. The motel is covered in clowns, from the lobby to the rooms. They're from the personal family collection of a man named Bob Perchetti, who has operated and owned the motel for 20 years. He says, "I love clowns. I've never had a problem with clowns," end quotes. This broadcaster thinks surely this man has not read Stephen King's It, Pennywise, ew. If the clowns aren't enough to keep you up at night, the motel is also popular with ghost hunters, because next door is Tonopah's first town cemetery, established soon after the town was settled by silver miners in the early 1900s. The town boomed for a short while, but when mining fell off in the 1920s, the town started to empty. Today there are about 2,500 residents, and so many clowns. Whoever takes over the Clown Motel must agree to keep its clowny spirit intact, even if they do plan on renovations. They must also be prepared to welcome back the clown-loving founder, Mr. Bob Perchetti. He has no desire to abandon his beloved friends. He says, quote, "Oh, I'm going to miss the clowns. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back and visit my clowns," end quotes. With his clown-free retirement, Bob Perchetti said he hopes to enjoy more adventures with his grandchildren and to schedule in more time just to go fishing. By the way, this article comes with a gallery. You can click and learn. Oh, gotta love that Ronald McDonald clown room. Not to clown around, we've got to fly because that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to UFO Headline News, Off the Beaten Path. Check us out later at UFOheadlinenews.com or iHeartRadio. Take care of each other. We're all in this together. This is Carol Carl. See you tomorrow.